Imagine spending like $10,000 on a photographer to capture the most important day of your life.
Right, which people do every single weekend.
Exactly. So you spend all this money, and then you spend weeks waiting for the gallery. You finally get the link, you eagerly zoom in on your face, and you look like you belong to a completely different person.
Oh, the heartbreak of that moment.
Right. But for the better part of a decade, that was the actual reality for a lot of brides.
Yeah.
The Instagram face, that heavily baked matte mask.
Yeah, the completely poreless look.
Exactly. It was the undisputed bridal standard. But going into 2026, the beauty industry is undergoing this massive, honestly, slightly terrifying paradigm shift.
It really is. It's huge.
So if you are anywhere near the wedding space right now, maybe you're planning one, you're in one, or you're just fascinated by how our definition of beauty evolves, what we are diving into today completely rewrites the rules.
It definitely throws the old playbook right out the window.
We are looking at this incredibly comprehensive 2026 trend report from the bridal platform Weddizer. And our mission today is to dig into the 3 major trends dominating 2026 and kind of figure out the broader philosophy behind modern wedding beauty.
Which is so needed because the whole philosophy of how we present ourselves on these high-pressure days is totally fractured.
Okay, let's unpack this. The biggest overarching theme we are seeing from this Weddizer data is a massive retreat from that heavy armor.
Yes.
We are talking about a full-blown movement toward what the industry is calling authentic beauty. Brides are just completely rejecting the idea of covering up their natural appearance.
Right, they don't want to hide anymore.
Exactly. The era of the flawless, poreless matte mask is out. The goal now is to actually enhance the face you were born with.
What's fascinating here is the sheer mechanics of why that shift is so incredibly difficult to execute.
Oh, really? Because you'd think less makeup means it's easier.
You would think so, but no. That heavy matte makeup wasn't just a stylistic choice. It was a functional necessity.
Like waterproof gear or something?
Exactly. You needed a thick layer of talc and full coverage pigment just to survive a 12-hour day. I mean, it had to withstand 90-degree heat, tears, dancing.
All it's wet.
All of it. And most importantly, the high-definition flash photography, which tends to bounce aggressively off of natural skin oils.
Oh, right. Flash photography is ruthless.
It really is.
Yeah.
But the modern bride is demanding something incredibly complex now, almost paradoxical, really.
Yeah. How so?
Well, they want makeup that is totally flawless for the camera, but feels completely weightless on the skin. They want to physically and visually feel like themselves.
Which sounds, honestly, like a magic trick.
It basically is.
I mean, you want it to look invisible to the naked eye from 2 feet away, but you also want it to survive a marathon of human emotion, right?
Right.
And then it has to look structurally perfect in a photograph that's going to sit on your mantle for 50 years. That almost sounds physically impossible without caking on the products.
It is a profound technical challenge for makeup artists today. You simply cannot rely on the old spackle and paint method anymore.
Spackle and paint, yeah.
Right. So to achieve this authentic beauty standard without the makeup literally melting off by the reception, it requires a completely different chemical approach.
So what are they doing instead?
We're seeing a really heavy reliance on highly formulated, ultra-lightweight foundations and customized color palettes that work with the skin's natural undertones rather than just painting over them.
But, okay, here is my issue with this whole authentic lightweight movement.
Uh-oh, here we go.
No, listen, it feels a little bit like a trap to me.
A trap?
Yeah. If the goal is the sheer breathable finish, and we are moving away from the heavy foundations that used to hide every little imperfection, aren't we just taking the 2 hours of makeup application on the wedding day and, spreading it out into a grueling 6-month ordeal beforehand?
Oh, wow. Okay, that is a very sharp observation.
Right.
Yeah, and it hits on the unspoken reality of the minimalist trend. The foundation of this new movement isn't actually foundation at all.
It's the skin.
It's the canvas itself. Exactly.
Because I'm thinking about this like painting a house.
Okay, I like that analogy.
If you buy the most expensive, beautiful, sheer designer paint, but the drywall underneath isn't sanded and prepped perfectly, that expensive paint is going to look terrible.
Oh, it'll show everything.
Right. It's just going to settle in and highlight every single bump, crack, and imperfection. The heavy, thick matte paint of the past could cover up a bad wall, but this new sheer paint requires absolutely flawless drywall.
That is exactly the physics of how these beauty products work. The heavy matte foundations were essentially liquid spackle.
Liquid spackle.
Literally. But when a bride today demands a breathable, authentic look, the makeup artist is forced to use products that are inherently way less forgiving.
So there's nowhere to hide.
Exactly. Let's look at the chemistry for a second. If your skin is dry or dehydrated on the wedding day, it will literally drink the moisture out of a lightweight foundation.
Wait, really? It just absorbs it?
Yes. The skin absorbs the water content, and it leaves the dry pigment just sitting patchily on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
And then it immediately settles into fine lines.
So the minimalism on the day of the wedding requires absolute maximalism in the months leading up to it.
Precisely. The Weddizer report explicitly cites that a consistent, advanced skincare routine is the non-negotiable secret behind these radiant results.
It's not just a nice-to-have anymore.
Not at all. The hydration, the chemical exfoliation, repairing the skin's lipid barrier, that is the invisible heavy lifting.
Wow.
Yeah, that months-long preparation is what actually allows the makeup artist to use those sheer products without sacrificing the camera-ready perfection. Healthy skin is the engine driving this entire 2026 aesthetic.
And look, if you are listening to this and slightly panicking right now because you aren't doing some hyper-strict 6-step hydration routine every night, do not stress.
All right, take a breath.
The point here isn't genetic perfection. It's just understanding how to give your makeup artist the best possible canvas to work with.
Exactly. It's about prep, not perfection.
Which leads us directly into the first of the 3 specific paths dominating 2026. If you have done that skincare prep, you unlock the most skin-forward trend of them all, which is Dewy Glam.
Dewy Glam. It is the absolute poster child for this new era.
Yeah.
It is the ultimate rejection of the matte mask we were just talking about.
The focus here is a luminous, fresh, incredibly youthful appearance, and the toolkit for this is fascinating to me because it totally abandons powders.
Almost entirely, yes.
To get this look, the industry is leaning entirely into hydrating products, illuminating primers, and cream-based makeup.
Creams are everything right now.
You're seeing soft champagne or pearl highlights, very natural rosy cheeks, glossy or satin lips, and really minimal but defined eyes.
Yeah, it's a very specific vibe.
It basically sounds like trying to capture the lighting of the golden hour, that perfect, warm, glowing light right before sunset, and somehow engineering a way to wear it on your face all day long.
That is a perfect way to describe it. And the science of why they use creams instead of powders for this is so crucial.
Oh, break that down for us.
Okay, so powders are generally formulated with talc and silica, right?
Right.
Their literal job is to absorb oil and moisture. They mattify and flatten the face by design.
So they are the enemy of Dewy Glam.
Completely.
Yeah.
But a cream blush or cream bronzer, it melts at skin temperature.
Wow.
It physically blends with the lipid barrier of that well-prepped skin we were just talking about.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, so it moves dynamically with the face and reflects light rather than absorbing it.
Which explains why Weddizer highlights Dewy Glam as the absolute go-to choice for outdoor weddings or like botanical garden ceremonies and beach destination weddings.
Exactly. It all comes down to how natural sunlight interacts with the geometry of the face.
The geometry of the face.
Yeah. If you are standing in a sunlight garden wearing harsh, heavy matte makeup, it absorbs the natural light.
Yeah.
In bright sun, it looks entirely artificial like a flat wall.
Right. It doesn't look like skin anymore.
Exactly. But those illuminating primers and cream-based champagne highlights, they interact beautifully with the sun. The light organically hits the high points of the cheekbones, the brow bone, the tip of the nose.
So it's working with the environment, not against it.
Yes. It catches that pearl highlight and creates this halo effect that captures a bride's real beauty in a way that feels incredibly fresh and alive.
Okay, so Dewy Glam sounds like an absolute dream for a beach at sunset.
It really is.
But I'm imagining that same bride walking into a heavy, windowless, grand luxury ballroom.
Oh, completely different story.
Right. You have massive crystal chandeliers blasting artificial light directly downward. You have heavy air conditioning. Suddenly, that carefully engineered dew might just look like sweat under a spotlight.
It absolutely can.
So how does the makeup strategy shift when the environment is aggressively fighting against you?
This raises such an important question. And honestly, it is a very real source of anxiety for brides.